Imagine this. You're at work, and your boss just handed you a new project. You're excited to start, but there's a catch. Your boss demands a quick turnaround time, which makes you feel overwhelmed. As you try to meet this tight deadline, your boss keeps piling on more work and responsibilities. Even worse, when you express your concerns, he brushes them off with a smile. It seems like your boss is intentionally trying to set you up for failure. Are they playing you? Do they want to harm your career? Yes, and they're using a sneaky psychological trick known as anchoring. Welcome back, everyone. Here today we will delve into the fascinating world of dark psychology, and we'll reveal the 10 dark tricks that powerful people use to control, manipulate, and dominate others. These tricks are often subtle and insidious, but once you become aware of them, you'll see how prevalent they are in everyday life. So let's embark on this eye-opening journey together. But before we begin, please subscribe to our channel. Trick No. 1: Gaslighting. Have you ever felt like someone was controlling your thoughts, making you doubt yourself, or pushing you to do things you never planned? That's not luck. It's psychology. Dark psychology. Imagine this. You're having a conversation with your partner and you mention something that happened to you earlier in the day. You describe how your boss spoke to you in a disrespectful manner. In response, your partner assures you that your boss wouldn't do that. Later, you find yourself second-guessing the event. Did it really happen the way you remembered? This manipulation tactic, called gaslighting, is a common form of emotional abuse where the target is deliberately misled and manipulated into questioning their own thoughts, feelings, and perceptions of reality. The term gaslighting is derived from the 1944 film Gaslight, in which a manipulative husband tries to make his wife believe she is insane by slowly dimming the flame on a gas lamp and then denying it when she points it out. Gaslighting can take many forms, including denial, twisting facts, minimizing your feelings, and constantly questioning your memory. When someone is subjected to gaslighting over a prolonged period, it can have a detrimental effect on their mental health, causing them to feel confused, anxious, and isolated. But why would anyone subject another person to such treatment? It's simple. The manipulator benefits from holding the power and control in the relationship. They gain a sense of superiority by making the other person dependent on them for validation. If you suspect you might be experiencing gaslighting, it's crucial to seek help and support. Reach out to friends or family members whom you can trust, and consider seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor. Trick 2: Love bombing. Imagine this. You meet someone who seems like the perfect romantic partner, showering you with affection, attention, and gifts. Everything seems to be going well until they suddenly withdraw their love and affection, leaving you confused and hurt. This pattern repeats itself over and over again, keeping you trapped in a cycle of longing for their love. This manipulation tactic, known as love bombing, is often used by individuals with narcissistic tendencies as a means to quickly establish control and dominance in a relationship. By showering their new partner with excessive affection and attention, they create a strong bond that can make it difficult for the other person to resist their advances. However, this intense period of love and affection is usually followed by a period of withdrawal, during which the love bomber may ignore their partner, causing them to become anxious and insecure. This cycle of love bombing followed by withdrawal can continue throughout the relationship, keeping the victim trapped in a cycle of manipulation and control. Trick No. 3: Silent treatment. Imagine being in an argument with your partner and things get heated. You say some harsh words in the heat of the moment, and then they respond by turning away and refusing to speak to you. Days go by and still there is no communication between the two of you. This is a silent treatment. The silent treatment is a common manipulation tactic in which one person refuses to communicate with another as a form of punishment or control. This can be used in various situations, such as in arguments with friends, family, or romantic partners, or in professional settings. The person who uses the silent treatment believes that by refusing to communicate, they can force the other person to do what they want them to do, or to suffer the consequences of their silence. However, this tactic can be incredibly damaging to the relationship between the two people involved, as it creates an environment of fear and tension. The person on the receiving end of the silent treatment may feel isolated and desperate for communication, which can lead to feelings of anxiety and stress. Trick number 4: Projection. Imagine you are in a long-term relationship, and recently there has been a lack of trust between you and your partner. One day you notice that your partner is acting suspiciously, and you confront them about it. Instead of addressing the issue, they accuse you of being too controlling and question your motives for confronting them in the first place. Projection is a defense mechanism in which people place their own unwanted thoughts, feelings, and traits onto someone else, usually without even realizing it. For example, someone who is dishonest themselves may accuse others of lying to cover up their own behavior. Similarly, someone who is insecure may project their own insecurities onto someone else, causing unnecessary conflict and misunderstandings in the relationship. Trick no. 5. Triangulation. Imagine being in a romantic relationship and feeling like you're always being compared to someone else. Your partner constantly brings up their ex in conversations, either by mentioning their accomplishments or talking about how much they miss them. This makes you feel insecure and anxious in the relationship. Triangulation is a manipulation tactic in which a person brings a third person into a relationship to create a sense of competition or jealousy between the two original parties. For example, in a romantic relationship, the manipulator may bring a former partner into the picture to create drama and tension. Or they may compare their current partner to someone else to make them feel inadequate. Trick no. 6. Intermittent reinforcement. Imagine being in a relationship where your partner is sometimes loving and attentive, and other times completely withdrawn and ignoring. You're constantly on edge, never knowing what to expect, and you find yourself desperately trying to win back their affection. Intermittent reinforcement is a type of operant conditioning in which rewards are given inconsistently, keeping the recipient uncertain about when they will receive positive attention or validation. People who use intermittent reinforcement are often looking for a specific reaction from the other person, such as increased dependency or compliance. For example, a parent may give their child a reward only occasionally to keep them motivated to behave well. While a romantic partner may shower you with love and affection one minute and ignore you the next, keeping you uncertain of their feelings and creating a roller coaster of emotions. Trick no. 7. Fear appeals. They use fear as a weapon to control you and dictate your actions. Fear appeals are a manipulation tactic in which a person uses fear, threats, or intimidation to influence the behavior of another person. For example, a politician may use fear of terrorism or war to gain support for their policies, while a friend may threaten to end your friendship if you don't agree with their opinions. Fear appeals can also be used in personal relationships, such as when a partner threatens to leave if you don't do what they want. Trick no. 8. Mirroring. Have you ever met someone who seems to read your mind? They match your body language, tone of voice, and even the way you phrase things. While this mirroring might initially make you feel understood and connected, it could be a sign of a manipulator using a technique called reflective listening to gain your trust. Mirroring involves subconsciously copying another person's body language, tone of voice, and speech patterns to create a sense of rapport and connection. While it can be a natural and effective way to build relationships, it can also be used as a manipulation tactic to gain control over the other person. When someone mirrors you excessively or too quickly, it may be a sign that they are trying to manipulate you into thinking that you have more in common than you actually do. Trick no. 9. Guilt tripping. Imagine coming home after a long day of work and your partner asks you to run to the grocery store for them. Do you agree? But when you come home with the groceries, you notice that they didn't finish the chores they were supposed to do. When you mention it, they look at you with innocent eyes and say, "But I thought you would finish those because you know I have a lot of work to do." They've just guilt-tripped you. Guilt tripping is a manipulation tactic in which a person makes another person feel guilty for not doing something they ask for. It can be done through passive-aggressive comments, manipulative questions, or by making the other person feel like they owe them something. Trick no. 10. Anchoring. Have you ever bought an expensive item only to realize that you paid more than you should have? Anchoring is a cognitive bias in which people rely heavily on the first piece of information they receive when making decisions. For example, when buying a car, the sticker price acts as an anchor that influences the final selling price. Similarly, in job negotiations, the starting salary offered is an anchor that affects the eventual agreed-upon salary. Anchor something big, and then offer a seemingly reasonable alternative. Anchor something small, and then offer a seemingly generous alternative. Anchor a positive, and then immediately present a negative. By understanding how anchoring works, you can be more aware of how it may be used against you and take steps to protect yourself from its effects. There you have it, 10 dark psychology tricks that powerful people use to control, manipulate, and dominate others. These tricks can be incredibly damaging and hurtful. But by understanding how they work, you can become more resilient against them. Remember, knowledge is power, so keep learning and stay sharp. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos on dark psychology.